Like I said, how the fuck y'all gonna get number 18 when your best player can't get 17 at home on fucking Christmas against his goddamn rival? I pulled up, goddamn it. I got all my shit. Oh yeah, I even broke out. Hold on. Special occasion, goddamn it. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here's the beating the Lakers on Christmas in the crypto. Okay, first time since 2008.
Here's a Steph Curry and the Warriors whooping y'all ass in the finals in 6 games.
What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to PPP. This is another episode with Tim and Ryan. As always, I'm Tim. That's Ryan. Yeah, you. I don't know why you holding that shit up. You know I got bragging rights over you until the next time we play, right? And matter of fact, this is the first time we done played on Christmas since 2008. So I got Christmas Day bragging rights, motherfucker.
Hey man, when the last time y'all won a title, man?
Fair enough. Fair enough. But, hey, man, let me tell you something. The in-season tournament don't count, okay?
This is from the start of the decade. They gonna say the bubble. They gonna say the bubble. They gonna say the bubble title don't count either. But then we outright win an NBA title. I mean, not with this team, obviously, because you know niggas, they can't buy a shot. But you know,
I mean you can say what you want at this point. I mean, whether you like it or not, it's an NBA title. Whether you like it or not, it's NBA title. You can say what you want about it. I mean, whatever. I know, like I said, like I've been saying, y'all in better shape now around this time than you were last year. Okay, so you got something to be fucking happy about.
Hey, there's no consistent shot making.
Fair enough.
Hey man, you know, you arguably got the 3 best. I mean, you got 3 of the top 10 guards in the NBA in your team. So
that's true. True.
Let's see what the fuck y'all do with it.
I mean, when you look at it, y'all, Anthony Davis had 40 and nobody else got the 20. Like I said, how the fuck y'all gonna get number 18 when your best player can't get 17 at home on fucking Christmas against his goddamn rival? I pulled up, goddamn it. I got all my shit. Oh yeah, I even broke out. Hold on. Special occasion, goddamn it. Yeah. Yes, sir. Here's the beating the Lakers on Christmas in the crypto, okay? First time since 2008.
Here's a Steph Curry and the Warriors whooping y'all ass in the finals in 6 games.
Fuck you, man. But it was a very action-packed weekend of sports, though, wasn't it? We can agree on that much.
Chiefs are trash.
Yes, they are.
I don't have them doing anything. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they go home in the wild card.
Yeah, I don't know. It all depends. Matchup. It all depends on matchups. Matchups make for great games, so we shall see. I'm not ready to give up on them just yet, but I can say I don't have as much confidence. I don't have a lot of confidence in them going into the playoffs this year as I have in previous years. I can say that much.
This motherfucker forcing the ball like Donovan McNabb and shit.
Yeah. Well, he got desperate. He got fucking desperate. We're gonna get to that though. First up, we have to talk about what we consider going into the game was the game of the year. Up until this point, we had both number 1 seeds facing off head-to-head last night. We had the Baltimore Ravens versus the 49ers. Baltimore jumps out on San Francisco early, ends up beating them 33-19. Brock Purdy, 18 of 32, 255 yards, 4 interceptions. He was also sacked twice. Christian McCaffrey, 14 rushes, 103 yards. 1 touchdown and 6 catches for, I think, 28 yards. Brandon Ayuk, 6 catches, 113 yards. George Kittle, 7 catches, 126 yards. On the flip side, outside of Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers, nobody else on the offense really did anything. Lamar Jackson, 23 of 35, 252 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 45 rushing yards. Zay Flowers, 9 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown. I'm gonna let you take this one first, bro.
I mean, you know, the story of the game was them 4 interceptions. I mean, they always got the ball in decent field possession. I mean, the first drive looked like they were just gonna run their offense as they've been all year, and then he just started throwing picks. Then that was really the story of the game. But to the Ravens' credit, they did what you're supposed to do when you get turnovers. They score.
Yeah.
So with that being said, they're in the front seat for the Super Bowl. The road to the AFC Championship game is in Baltimore this year, and right now they're looking pretty good. They're probably the most believable team in the AFC right now.
I would agree, and you know how much I fucking hate Baltimore, but I can't argue with that. I do agree to your point. I think Baltimore, they jumped on them early. Like I said, I've been saying, me and Ryan been talking off camera about this, but I said this about San Francisco, that you got to jump on them early. And that's exactly what they did. They got turnovers, they forced turnovers. They capitalized on them outside of that first interception. But I mean, it's still early in the game. They were still trying to get their feet up under them. But at every turnover after that, whether it was a field goal or a touchdown, they did score. I think Lamar threw 2 touchdowns within the span of like 13 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, in the third quarter. So I got to give it to Lamar. Lamar played extremely well this game. I didn't see him try to force any passes. He got down when he needed to. He didn't try to do too much. And when nothing was there, he got rid of the ball. On the 49ers side, I know everybody, and even I said I had to go back and rewatch the game and look at the stats. I know we all have been talking about how Brock Purdy has not been able, how most of his yards, they come after the catch. Their throw, he's throwing screens and wide receivers are, running them for long touchdowns and stuff like that. He actually, outside of them interceptions, Brock Purdy, he didn't look bad. He just looked rattled. Like they put pressure on him. And he, started trying to force the ball, and he was the one that's, was trying to do a little too much, because I mean he did still manage to get 255 yards. So there's that. I'm also not going to take too much away from this performance from San Francisco, simply because I mean it was a bad game. It was just a bad game, bad day in the office. So I still have a lot of faith in San Francisco. I still think they're the best team in the NFC. I'm not ready to completely give up on them just yet. But if you are a team in the NFC, you have to take something away from Baltimore in this game. You have to put pressure on you got to put pressure on Brock Purdy. You got to get to him early and whatever. And this is a team that doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. So when they do make mistakes, you got to capitalize on them. You can't fuck around. You can't fuck around with this team, plain and simple.
I mean, really, that's just a smart way to win, period, in the NFL. Don't let the game linger on because you're settling for field goals after turnovers, or you're going for it on fourth down, like other teams that we'll probably talk about later, instead of getting points. But I mean, hey, hats off to the Ravens. This is probably the best game they've played together as a whole football team the whole season, and it's really hard not to see them making the Super Bowl. It's really hard not to, because I mean, who else is going to challenge? Maybe Miami.
Yeah, I mean, in the AFC, I feel the same about the AFC as I do about the NFC. I'm not super confident in any team outside of Baltimore. And this is a while. I mean, compared to the last couple of years, where it could have been the Bills, it could have been the Bengals, could have been the Chiefs. This is the AFC outside of the Ravens. I'm not very confident in any team, but a lot can change between now and a couple weeks in January. So I'm not making no suggestions just yet. I can also say that regardless of the San Francisco loss, Christian McCaffrey does still look like the best running back in football currently. I mean, I don't see nobody else competing with him for that.
I mean, if he gets MVP, I would not be mad.
I'm not either. I wouldn't be either. I mean, he's had a hell of a season. Him getting traded to San Francisco is probably the best thing to happen in his career, because he was going to get broke the fuck up in Carolina. I mean, we saw what the fuck they are this year.
I mean, don't you just find it funny in Carolina he couldn't stay healthy, but he get to San Francisco I think he's only missed like 3 games just being there.
Well, hell, when you playing behind Trent Williams and one of the best best blocking offensive lines in football, it's kind of easy to stay healthy. So, just saying, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, moving on to the next game. Hold on, I forgive me, y'all, because my notes is a little all over the place here. My daughter wrote in my notebook, so yeah, you did. Yeah, she heard she heard me. So, oh man, where the hell?
That's my Good Friday. You can't say that about it. Rude.
Okay, found it. My bad. All right. So next up we have Dallas and Miami. Dallas goes to Miami and loses 20-22. Dak Prescott 20 of 32, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 4 times. CeeDee Lamb 6 receptions, 118 yards, 4 touchdowns. Tua Tagovailoa 24 of 37, 293 yards, 1 touchdown. Tyreek Hill 9 receptions for 99 yards. I'm gonna take this one first. Honestly, Dallas lost this game on the first drive of the game when Tony Pollard tried to cut back inside on that touchdown. Like, bro, you got it on the fucking outside corner. Run to the outside. Why are you trying to cut back inside? Say what you want. Zeke would have got that touchdown. I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, to me, Dallas lost when I saw that with Tony Pollard. I knew that right there cost them the fucking game in my eyes.
Or they just getting in their own way.
Yeah, that too. And also for Dallas, as much as everybody talks about Dallas defense is so great, Dallas defense this, Dallas defense is this. Bro, Dak got as much shit as we talk about Dak Prescott, middle of the pack Dak, blah, 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 blah. The way he's played the last few years, him costing them playoff wins and shit like that. Look, Dak got y'all in position to win that game. Y'all got they got a penalty in the red zone when they really needed it. Dak scored like he was supposed to. All y'all had to do was hold him, stop him from getting in field goal range, and y'all couldn't do that. So if you ask me, Tony Pollard lost them the game at the beginning of the game, and Dallas's defense cost them this game. Because Dak played. He didn't play great, like he didn't blow you away, but Dak actually played.
Win.
Yeah, he did. He did. He did extremely well. And I also got to say, him and CD has emerged himself as one of, I don't care what you say, CD's emerged as one of the, I say, elites in the NFL. I give him that. I would.
He's top 5 in his position.
I would. I can agree with that. But yeah, Dak scores. That scored TD. Miami goes 12 plays, 70 yards, 3.5 minutes to get a field goal position. All the fuck y'all had to do was stop him from getting in field goal position. Get the ball back. Y'all couldn't even do that.
Like, if they would have kept Amari and Zeke, boy, they probably would be the best team in the NFC.
Probably would have at least got to the fucking third round.
This is just the case of Dallas being Dallas. If they had capitalized on earlier opportunities, they would have won the game. But yet they took the lead late, left too much time, had enough time to extend the lead. They didn't do that. Late in the game, at the end of the game, last drive of the game, Miami drives down the field, scores. They couldn't get them off the field, and that's the result of it.
I don't get it. Like, defense, you had one job. Get a stop, prevent them from scoring. Y'all couldn't even do that. For them, like I said, for them to have such a great and I don't know why Micah Parsons is still in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. I don't care what y'all say. He ain't fucking with TJ Watt. He is not fucking with TJ Watt. I don't care what how you put it. He ain't.
You could just put him on more spots on the field.
I gotta disagree. TJ got what, like 3 forced fumbles. He got a pick. He got I think 17 and a half sacks. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a Steelers fan. TJ is balling. I think if you take TJ off the Steelers right now, we ain't 8-7. We lose at least 3 or 4 more games.
I don't know. I guess, but Micah hasn't shown up in like last 3 games. I give you that.
And this is not me taking nothing away from Mike and not saying he's not a great defensive player, because I still think he's a great defensive player. He's still very young. You know, he has a lot of time to grow, but I don't think he should get defensive player of the year. And I don't think he's fucking with TJ. I don't think he's fucking with Myles Garrett either. Just saying.
Each his own. AFC North guy right here.
Yeah. Moving on to another game, which one of Ryan, this is Ryan's team. Again, I'm gonna let you take this one first. Chiefs lose to the Raiders 14-20. Patrick Mahomes 27 to 44, 235 yards, 1 touchdown, was sacked 4 times. Aiden O'Connell, 9 of 21 for 62 yards. He did not complete a pass the entire second quarter. I mean, not the entire second half. The entire second. Look, they let Zamir White run all over them. 22 rushes for 145 yards.
And Josh Jacobs was hurt with a quad injury.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even play. So,
and then Pat Mahomes threw what? I think 2 or 3 picks, and one of them was a pick 6.
Yeah, I think he threw 3.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't write that down. But.
Maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was cooking doing some in this game, but I pretty much got the gist of it. I mean, we can go at the end of the first half. If they take the field goal, if they took the field goals on the drives where they went for it on 4th and goal, that last touchdown would have won them the game.
Yeah, I agree.
If they take the field goals, so it's even affecting Andy now. It's even affecting Andy's judgment and play calling decisions. This team is simply just not as good as they were last year.
No.
A lot due to it. Just off the wide receivers, the offensive line is outstanding. The defense is outstanding outside of that last drive. So this really boils down to wide receivers getting separation.
Catching the fucking ball. Catch the goddamn ball. I don't know if they. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like Kader. Like I'm here. The rest. He need to change his name. His name is no longer. His name is no longer Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Stoney. Stonehands. Kadarius Stoney. Flat the fuck out.
This season reminds me a lot of Tom Brady's last season in New England.
Yeah.
Just the receivers can't get separation. They can't get open. They I mean, when they do get separation, they drop city, which makes Mahomes feel like he really can't trust any of his receivers. And it's showing with some of his decision making with the football. Ill-advised throws, you throwing the ball in double and triple coverage. You're trying to scramble more to buy time for somebody to get open. I mean, there's still flashes of his greatness. Don't get it twisted. Don't let the stats and all that get it twisted. There's a lot of flashes of his greatness, but he has very low confidence outside of Travis Kelce, who's throwing that ball to, and it's starting to get in the psyche of the coaches as well, in my opinion. Kansas City has to finish strong. I mean, they still win the division, so they'll still get one home playoff game. But man, this is really looking like maybe a divisional wild card exit this season for the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, that was gonna be the next topic, because we have to discuss the Chiefs and the Eagles. For them to for these two teams to be the 1 and the 2 last year in the NFL, there's been a major drop off. Feeding off of what you was talking about with the Chiefs, bro. I remember I said some stats are going to surprise you. Believe it or not, bro, the Chiefs are actually literally the only problem with the Chiefs are the drops. The Chiefs literally lead the league in drops, in passes drop. Kansas City is number 1 in passes drop. Overall, like points allowed, Kansas City second. Overall defense, like yards allowed, Kansas City's overall defense is second. They're only giving up 306 yards per game. They're giving up 173 passing yards a game, which is ranked 3rd. They're giving up 113 rush yards a game, which is ranked 18th. And they're only allowing 17 points a game, which is ranked 7th. So for the Chiefs to have if the Chiefs had this defense like 2 years ago, remember when they played Tom Brady in the AFC Championship? If they had this defense, bro, they Super Bowl. So they made to the Super. They'd probably fucking won the Super Bowl that year. You can't tell me no different.
When they played Brady in the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, and they literally lost. They lost the game because I think D Ford jumped off sides and on a 4th down, and they tipped the ball, and they ended up getting the flag because the motherfucker was offsides. If they had this, I feel like if they had this defense back then, bro, the Chiefs are sitting on three Super Bowls by now.
Chiefs is getting whooped by the whistle too that game too. They kept getting the first down, kept being the flag. First down, flag. First time they get the first down, they let them play. When it's like 2nd and 32 or something crazy like that. But bottom line is they got to catch the ball until they do so. Not that much season left, so I thought this would have got cleaned up weeks ago. It hasn't. It's getting progressively worse.
Yeah.
You're having close games with teams you should be blowing out. Like this week and last week should have been blowout wins for the Chiefs normally.
It should have.
So the Hunt family, either you're going to sell the team or you're going to spend some money on offense. You got the defense together, which I was surprised they did that. So now let's get the offense together. I'm surprised they didn't make any type of free agency moves or anything, no trades. I was just sort of like one receiver can turn this around.
The offense is not. They're not what they were last year, but they're not bad. I mean, they're 11th overall. They're 11th overall in offense. They're 4th in passing, 253 yards a game. They're 20th in rushing, 101 yards a game, and they're 11th in scoring, 22 yards a game. Now that's a huge drop off, though.
I mean, everybody that was catching balls for them was on a different team. And then the guy they brought back is worse than he was last year.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I'd rather have Pringle back than him.
That's true. Now that's something else I wanted to talk.
He was drop city.
That's something else I wanted to talk to you about. Now we always talk about Juju. How AB was Juju only went off. Juju was only good because Antonio Brown was there. And they talk about how Kansas City Patrick Mahomes pretty much revived Juju's career. When Juju was there, he was a nice target for Pat. Like when they needed a possession. So do you feel like them losing Juju has really took something away from this offense?
Them getting rid of everybody. I mean, like Skylar Moore has not even progressed how I thought.
No.
I mean, but sometimes people holler about speed. Sometimes all you need is that 10 yards. All you need is that 15 yards.
Yeah.
So I would have, me personally, I would have kept Juju, and I probably would have kept 2 of the receivers I had last year. I don't know. I don't know. But I can tell you this now: everybody that's not named Travis Kelce is probably not going to be back on the team next year.
Yeah, I definitely think. Well, I can't say that. I think Kadarius Toney. I definitely think he's gone. Richie James, he hasn't made the impact that I thought he was going to have. Pacheco, I like Pacheco.
Hold on now. He's the running back. He's fine.
That's what I'm saying. I like Pacheco. Pacheco does have 800 yards, and I forgot how many touchdowns. Kelce, Kelce is not. He's dropped off a little bit. He may not be what he has been past like 5 years, but he's still, even with missing a game, I think a game or 2, but he still has 90 receptions, 900 something yards, and 5 touchdowns. He's just not. He's definitely lost a step. I don't know if it's the Taylor Swift shit or not, but he's just not. He's not the same Kelce.
Okay, yeah, we could double team, sometimes triple team this nigga, and they gonna drop the ball.
Yeah.
Then anybody catches the ball, he's out the game.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, like that's why Kelce's getting off. Oh shit, Juju catching the ball now. Pringle catching the ball now. Valdez Scantlin's catching the ball now. So now it's like, well, damn, we can't just focus on him because we gotta go stop these other dudes. And then now Kelce's fucking you up down the field, setting up the touchdown drive.
And then they letting Pat Mahomes get comfortable in that. There go the fucking game right there.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. That's another thing we got to talk about. The pass rush was on his ass.
Yeah.
Crosby and them boys is on his ass.
Max Crosby for me is like what Max Crosby against Pat Mahomes is not as vicious, but Max Crosby to me is what Aaron Donald is in the NFC West when he used to play Russell Wilson. If you ask Russell Wilson like who was the one team he hated playing, it was always gonna be the Rams because he couldn't fucking stand Aaron Donald. That's how I feel like Pat feels about Max Crosby because it's like Max just when he plays Pat Mahomes, he's like, I'm trying to kill this motherfucker.
He definitely is earning his money in them games. This is why we got you here, son.
Yep.
Fuck up Kansas City. All right.
Now, before we get off Kansas City, I do want to say, I do like the rookie wide receiver, Rashee Rice. You give him that he may not look. Pat doesn't fully trust him just yet, but he does have
nobody.
He does. I think Rashee Rice has 700 or 800 yards this season and like 3 or 4 touchdowns. So I want to say 4 or 5 touchdowns, but he has looked good. He's shown flashes. You get him like. If they go out in the offseason, they can manage to snag one of these, these wide receivers that are going to be upcoming free agents so they can make it like a splash trade or something. I like Rashee Rice in coming years. I do.
Damn, bro. He should be better than Sky Moore after 2 years. So
yeah,
I give you that. I give you that. And then they had another. Kansas City getting so desperate. I saw a motherfucker I never even seen before yesterday.
Like Justin Watson or something like that, or was it
he was like number 17 or something.
Yeah,
I know they brought him up from the fucking practice squad. Fucker, come on, man. Somebody can catch.
Yeah, I would agree. Moving on to Philly. Look, man, you can tell that Philly is definitely missing Shane Steichen and John Gannon. I didn't think they was gonna miss the defensive coordinator. Shane Steichen was Philly's offensive coordinator last year. They moved to Brian Johnson, who supposedly who's known Jalen his whole life, Jalen Hurts. They also lost John Gannon, defensive coordinator, in the offseason and replaced him with Sean Desai. They also tried the Matt Patricia project, and we saw how the fuck that shit didn't work. I saw a meme. They was like, I forgot who they lost to, but they was like, yeah, Philadelphia, you just gave up so many amount of points, and you seen the movie Split. That was it, me. That was Patricia. But yeah, it's Philly's defense is a major fucking drop off. So let's read off some stats, shall we? Last year, Philly was second overall in defense. This year, they're 20th. Philly was first overall in pass defense last year. This year, they're 27th. Philly was 10th overall in rush defense. Believe it or not, tad bit better. They're 8th overall. Philly was third last year in allowing points. They were third last year in allowing points per game. This year, they're 25th. Philly was third overall on allowing third down conversion percentage on defense. This year, they are 30th in third down percentage. That means the defense cannot get off the fucking field. This is why they're losing. This is why the fuck they losing. Whether y'all want to hear it or not. They're playing horrible fucking situational football.
And even like when they speak to the press after the game, even Devontae was like, we are not playing our football right now.
No.
And that was very telling for me. I mean, outside of what we've been seeing, but like, do you think it might be some turmoil in the locker room?
I don't think it's turmoil in the locker room. I think a lot of it has to do with
like this is a little tension. I'm not saying it's anything wrong.
I think so.
That.
Maybe I think it's tension between not necessarily. I think it's tension between the offense and the defense because the offense is doing their job sometimes, but the defense they can't get off the fucking field. They can't.
I mean, they try to keep them together and make another run. It's over.
Maybe
it's done. It's done.
I think there'll be a team to watch in the coming years. I think that they'll be competing in the NFC East for a couple years, and we don't know what's going to happen with Washington in the offseason and in coming years with them. I know they're going to get a new coach. We're going to get to that later too. But it's just they did lose some pieces on defense. They did lose Javon Hargrave. They lost him to the 49ers. They lost TJ Edwards. They lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They lost Marcus Epps, and they lost Kaiser White in the linebacking core. So they did lose some pieces on defense. But
that was their run stop right there with Jadid's name.
Yeah, so I do like the two young pieces. I do like Jordan Davis and I like Jalen Carter once they, once they developed and, grow into their role, grow into what people think they can be. I think Philly is, I think their defense might get back to what they were, but the defensive coordinator, he's just not it. Defensive coordinator is not it. Now on offense, they may not look like the team last year. Last year, they were 3rd overall in yards per game. This year, they're 8th, not much of a drop off. Last year, they were 13th in pass offense. This year, they're 14th. That's definitely not much of a drop off. Last year, they were 1st overall in rushing yards per game. This year, they're 6th. Last year, they were 1st overall in points per game. This year, they're 7th. So the offense hasn't seen much of a drop off, other than the fact that they lost their offensive coordinator in Shane Steichen. So the offense is fine. I think the offense is fine. But with this defense is where maybe not this year, maybe not this day and age, but I still think defense plays a major factor in the playoffs. And with this defense, I don't see them getting very far. I really don't.
That's when you see That's when you see the impact the defense has on the game when it gets into the playoffs. But if you ask me, the offense is just as much as trouble as the defense. The only difference is they're getting by off pure talent.
Yeah.
They're getting by with a lot of superb athletes. So that's why they keep on chucking along. But I mean, this is fuck it. I mean, you just you got to win ugly sometime. That's what they've been doing all year.
Yeah, winning ugly. I mean, this is kind of crazy to say, but they're the Minnesota Vikings of last year. You remember how lucky the Vikings was getting
all those one possession games?
Yeah, and then the first week of the playoffs, they went out and got punched in the mouth by Daniel Jones and the fucking Giants.
Yeah,
you keep it up. The same. You guys got 2 games to get it together. You got 2 fucking games to get it together. I mean, granted, you got a playoff spot already. I think the NFC East is still up for grabs between Dallas and Philly. It's going to come down to these last 2 games. So, and not to mention the number 2 overall seed, you better do what you can to get the number 2 overall seed. That's all I'm saying.
I think they I think they got the number 1 seed.
No, San Francisco got the number 1 seed.
So they got the tiebreaker. San Francisco does.
No, San Francisco has number 1 overall seed. Philly has the number 2 seed because Dallas lost, that means Philly took over. Philly's in first in the NFC East.
Yeah, they have the wild card. Dallas is back in the wild card. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And like I said, as long as if these 2 teams keep winning and losing, they're just gonna be flip flopping, and it's just gonna come down to the last couple games.
Because aren't the 49ers and the Eagles, aren't they both 11-4?
I think now I think so. Yeah.
Ooh, Eagles just can if 49ers play like crap next 2 games, the Eagles win, they can still the number 1 seed.
They can, yeah. I mean, hell, if both teams play like crap the next couple games and Dallas win out the next 2 games, they can fucking get the number 1 seed.
That's only gonna be. That's only gonna be for 2 games. If that.
True.
What if Dallas won it all, bro? I'll just be.
Don't start that shit.
I'll just be like, we gonna hear about this Super Bowl more than we heard about the other fucking 3.
Bro, I swear to God, if Dallas
the last 3.
And I was gonna talk to you about this. Now look, I try not to be one of the people, the NFL is rigged, blah, 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 blah. But in a crazy world, go ahead.
Some of them calls they was giving the 49ers, I'm like, on the 49ers, I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, in the crazy world,
I do want everybody to take this into consideration. This is the first year the Super Bowl is in Vegas, right? We know how big sports betting is in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
We know Vegas is, the gambling capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
First year, Super Bowl in Vegas, Dallas being a big fan base. I can see the NFL doing some shit to get Dallas to. I can see it coming down to a couple calls to get Dallas to the Super Bowl, because damn well If Dallas gets to the Super Bowl, first time in Vegas, the tickets are going to be up here. Viewership is going to be way the fuck up here because of how big Dallas's fan base is. Not to mention how big the Dallas Cowboys, that brand, how big that brand is. So I'm not picking that. I'm not picking nothing yet. I ain't saying nothing, but can I see the NFL tweaking some shit, paying the refs off for something to get Dallas to the Super Bowl? Yes, I can. If they get to the Super Bowl, I don't want them to get to, but if they just don't be surprised. Just, I told you so. I'm going to leave it at that.
Man, whatever, nigga. All right.
I'm going to say that.
We'll see, nigga. I'll be done watching football for 2 years. No bullshit.
Yeah, right. Your ass to go back. Your ass to go back to being a Cowboys fan. You know you ain't fucking lying.
Crazy as fuck, bro.
Your ass gonna break out that old DeMarco Murray jersey.
It's gonna be in crimson and cream. It's gonna say number 7. That's what it's gonna say.
Fair enough. Fair enough, man. All right, we got to jump off into the MVP race. So with everything that happened this week,
I have Lamar now.
That's what I was gonna get off into it. So with everything that happened this weekend, Lamar Jackson now leads 3,335 passing yards, 19 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, 786 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey is second overall, 1,395 rushing yards to 14 touchdowns, 62 catches, 539 yards for 7 touchdowns. Tua Tagovailoa is third overall, 4,214 yards, 26 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Brock Purdy is fourth, 4,050 yards, 29 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. Josh Allen has leapfrogged into fifth, 3,778 yards, 27 touchdowns to 15 interceptions, 413 yards to 13 rushing touchdowns. And Dak Prescott rounds out the bunch at 6th, 3,892 yards, 30 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. As of right, if the season ended today, who is your MVP?
I still have to go with Dak. You can't just
dismiss it. Yeah,
dismiss a person because they had a couple bad games. Everybody, every Heisman winner, every MVP, they're gonna have at least a bad half, a bad quarter, a bad game somewhere. So I mean, you can't just dismiss it now. If Lamar keep this up, we'll be having a different conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll be having a different conversation. So, unfortunately, I still have to go with that because I mean, if Tua doesn't lead that drive, Dak is probably in the driver's seat for MVP.
I agree.
So because he did lead. I mean, he scored at the end. He put up points. He got the lead. Mm-hmm. So I mean, but Tua just led another for the second week in a row game-winning drive. So that's what knocked him out. What about you?
I think this is an award that's going to come down to the last couple of weeks of the season simply because outside of Josh Allen, all these guys have clinched a playoff spot. So I'm pretty sure that none of them are going to – I don't – it all – for these guys, it all depends on what matters to you more. Does the MVP really matter to you that much? Simply because, like I said, last week of the season, especially if you clinched already, I don't know if any of these guys are going to be playing or not.
I'm glad you brought that up because I want to ask you this. If the number 1 seed is in jeopardy for Baltimore, do you play Lamar or does Lamar play?
No, I don't. I don't think Lamar plays simply because I want an MVP. Yeah, that's what I don't know. If the AFC was competitive at all, I would say yeah. But as of right now, I don't think there's anybody in the AFC that Baltimore is looking at that they feel like they can't beat. You keep in mind, they're gonna get the 7th seed, which is more. I think the 7th seed is going to be Buffalo. And do I think Baltimore can beat Buffalo? Absolutely. Do I think they can? Yeah, I think so. The number 1 seed, they're gonna get a bye. They're gonna get a first round bye. Granted, everybody on Baltimore outside of the running back, J.K. Dobbins, but that's a different story. Everybody's healthy, so I don't think they're really going to too much care about that first round bye.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I don't think nobody's gonna catch them. If they win next week, they clinch home field. They ain't nobody catching them. So honestly, right, if the season ended today, I would have to go with Lamar because of the whole we see the way the game is going. I would go Lamar based on the rushing yards. And for anybody that's trying to argue Josh Allen has 15 fucking interceptions. So no. And his team
he's led the NFL in interceptions since he's been a starter.
Yeah, and his team is like 10-6, 10-7 right now, 10-6, I believe. So no, I'm not. I can't go with Josh Allen. I can't.
I think they're like 9-6, but I wouldn't be mad at Lamar because it's not the stats with their season for Lamar. It's he does what's needed to win.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like about Lamar this season. He does what's needed to win, and he's doing it mostly throwing.
Yeah.
He only runs when like nobody is open.
Yeah,
which is impressive.
And that's been a knock on him in the past is like he does too much with the ball, and that's how he gets hurt and forces turnovers and shit like that. So yeah, I mean now I ultimately think it's gonna come down to Christian McCaffrey, and I think it's gonna come down to Lamar Jackson because whether San Francisco's had a bad game or not, Christian McCaffrey's always had a fucking good game. So I think at the end of the season, Christian McCaffrey is going to be number 2, but I definitely think the MVP is going to come down to that last week. Who plays that last week? That's what it's going to come down to.
All right.
All right, moving on to the playoff picture. We're not even going to talk about the playoff picture. We're just going to talk about the wild card and the AFC and the NFC because right now it's wild. This shit is wild. First up, we got the AFC. Sitting at number 5 is the Cleveland Browns, which more than likely they're going to clinch 10. Cleveland Browns are 10-5. Their next 2 games are the Jets and the Bengals. Sitting at number 6 are the Buffalo Bills at 9-6. So we were both wrong. Their next 2 games are the Patriots and the Dolphins. Sitting at number 7 is the Indianapolis Colts at 8-7. Their next 2 games are the Raiders and Texans. On the outside looking in, it is the Texans at 8-7, the Steelers at 8-7, the Bengals at 8-7. The Raiders at 7-8, and the Broncos at 7-8. For the Texans, the next 2 games are the Titans and the Colts. The Steelers next 2 games, the Seahawks and Ravens. The Bengals next 2 games, the Chiefs and Browns. The Raiders next 2 games, the Colts and the Broncos. The Broncos next 2 games are the Chargers and Raiders. At this point, I think it's the battle for that 7th spot, unless Buffalo loses that next game. But at this point, I definitely feel like it's the battle for the 7th spot. Now, Indianapolis does hold the tiebreaker over the Steelers, and they have to play the Texans one more time. Now, that these two out of like I said, I think at this point it's the battle for the 7th spot because I think if Buffalo wins next, they clinch. So out of Indy, if you have to pick between Indy, Houston, Pittsburgh, and the Bengals, what team do you think is going to get that 7th spot?
If CJ comes back, Houston, but it's looking more so like either your team or the Bengals. Rudolph played good, bro.
He did.
All he got to do is do that 2 more times.
He did. And the way that Indy played last game, I don't know, because they was wide open. They had Atlanta. It was wide open for them to win. They do have the Raiders and the Titans. With the way the Raiders played last game, if they can play that way, next week. They gonna be in the driver's. They gonna, as long as like if shit goes well for them, they're gonna be in the driver's seat. I mean, the Texans got the Titans and the Colts the next 2 weeks, so I mean they also in the driver's seat.
I know Raiders still in playoff contention.
Yeah. I mean, they low. The Raiders and the Broncos are still in playoff contention. Just
they need like everybody
really have to fall in place. Yes, yeah, their cards really have to fall in place for them. I want nothing more than the Steelers to get into the playoffs. I would love for the Steelers to get into the playoffs, but when if CJ comes back. If CJ comes back, I don't like our chances. If we, it's gonna come down to the last week because if we can beat the Seahawks, I think Baltimore is going to sit their starters. It's why. And if Indy loses next game, it's wide open for us. It's wide. Like we have to win that last game. We got to win next game. But ultimately, I think we're gonna fall short because the Texans did beat us. I think the Texans may get that 7th spot. I do. It hurts me to say that because I would love to see my Steelers in the playoffs, but I don't know, man. It's a long shot for us. It is.
What's wrong with CJ?
Concussion. I think concussion.
That's a serious concussion. You missed 2 games.
Well, I also think they're trying to do what they can to keep the Texans out of the playoffs because I don't think the NFL wants the Texans to be in the playoffs because that's not a game they can sell. So
Ohio State fans will watch it.
We know that much.
They'll watch it. That's your playoff views right there.
Yeah, we know that much. So yeah, it hurts me to say that, but y'all know I'm rooting for Pittsburgh. I love my Steelers, but I'm ready to get to the offseason and just see what's gonna happen, man. That's it. This was a tough year, another tough year, and
see what's gonna happen with what?
I want to see our offensive coordinator gonna be. Okay. Because Matt Canada. Matt Canada's gone, so I'm excited to see what we do in that aspect.
You better go ahead and poach Bieniemy before he get fired.
I think it's gonna be Bieniemy, or I would personally. It's a couple people I would like. Give me Frank Reich because when the Cardinals won the Super Bowl, not the Cardinals, the Eagles, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl that year, he was the reason why Carson Wentz is going off before he got hurt, and he was the reason why fucking Nick Foles led them to the Super Bowl. So yeah, give me Frank Reich. Yeah.
Okay, that's what you want, man.
That's what I want.
Okay.
Moving on to the NFC. In the NFC wild card, right now, number 5 spot is, of course, the Dallas Cowboys, but they've clinched already, so we can eliminate them. At number 6, we got the Rams. At number 7, we got the Seahawks. The Rams' next 2 games are the Giants and the 49ers. The Seahawks' next 2 games are the Steelers and Cardinals. On the outside looking in, we got the Vikings. Their next 2 games are the Packers and Lions. The Falcons' next 2 games, the Bears and the Saints. The Packers' next 2 games, the Vikings and Bears. The Saints' next 2 games, the Bucks and Falcons. Now, the Rams do hold the tiebreaker over the Seahawks, so I think if the Rams win their next game, they end. I think if the Rams in the next game, they clinch, so they're good there. So I also think this is going to come down to the number 7 spot. Also, the number 4 seed, the Tampa Bay Bucks, they're sitting at 8-7. If they lose their next game, and the Vikings and either the Falcons or the Saints win, it's gonna come down to the last game of the season. But for that number 7 spot, who you got making the NFC wild card? Because the number 7 right now is the Seahawks, and their next 2 games are the Steelers and Cardinals.
I want to say them. It's possible that they have 2 winnable games. It's very possible, but I don't see that happening. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Who you got? I have no idea.
So, me personally, I want to take the Packers because I feel like they got the easiest path. I mean, their next 2 games are the Vikings and the Bears, and the Vikings, their quarterback situation is all fucked up. They just lost TJ Hawkinson, so there's that. And, if that defense can, play like they have been playing for a couple of weeks, that'd be okay. The Vikings, right now they're in the driver's seat. They're at number 8. They right on the outside looking in. With their quarterback situation and them losing TJ Hawkinson, I have no confidence in the Vikings whatsoever.
Fam, anybody can get high for 2 games.
That's true.
What I'm saying. I don't know. So you got the Vikings, Packers, Falcons, Saints. Shit, Packers look. I mean, they quietly creeping up.
Yeah,
Vikings should have had this on lock, but they lost the last 2 games. They got Detroit next week too.
That's what I'm saying.
No, they just lost to Detroit. Yeah, I mean, I can see the Seahawks winning. Cause realistically, all they got to do is win one more game,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like if all those teams lose, that's like at the 7-8 mark, and let's just say Green Bay wins, then that's the only team Seahawks are gonna hold their breath for that last week of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they going all out.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
going all out.
all these teams, like that's why I say these next couple of weeks gonna be real interesting. Gonna be real. Like that's what y'all gotta. That Breland already talking about coming over for the Pittsburgh and Baltimore game. Y'all gotta come. Y'all gotta come through because all the games gonna be the 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock games. Ain't no 7 o'clock games. That's this Sunday. That's not this Sunday. That's next Sunday. So it's boy, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
I'm bugging with it. Shit, I'm already coming over for the college shit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of college, we got a couple really interesting. We're not gonna get into all of them. We got a couple really good, interesting bowl games coming up. First up is our school. We got Oklahoma and Arizona. Now, the biggest storyline.
Quarterback transfer.
Yes.
That was reported today.
Yes. That so with this, I think the biggest storyline in this game is because Dylan Gabriel transferred Jackson Arnold. This game is really going to give us an idea of what we got. That Jackson Arnold got a full. It ain't no okay. Dylan Gabriel's coming out. Jackson Arnold has a full week to get prepared, and this is. I mean, he had a couple weeks.
He had a month, my nigga.
Well, yeah, that word there. He had a whole month to get prepared. Not to mention, this is we get an idea of what's to come from Jackson Arnold taking over this team.
Does he deserve to have that 5-star ranking that he got?
Yeah, that too.
That's what it's gonna be.
I mean, of course, I'm taking OU. I don't know about you. I know you taking.
Of course, I'm taking Oklahoma. It's like I want us to win in convincing fashion and it look good. I don't want us to go out there. I mean, who don't like competitive football games? But I don't want us to go out there and look like we finna get mollywopped.
Yeah.
And then get by the skin of our ass and shit. I want us to go out there and dominate. But they got a true freshman quarterback starting. He's basically a true sophomore at this point. So it's gonna be real interesting. It's gonna be exciting. I mean, we got pretty much majority of the team coming back outside of a couple pieces.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see some deep balls.
Yeah, same.
Down the field, I'm ready to see some
40, big passes,
50 yards touchdown passes. So.
I'm ready to see some ropes. I ain't ready to see I'm gonna throw the ball deep and I gotta hold my fucking breath. I'm tired of seeing that shit.
As you know, we played in this game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the same outcome we had 2 years ago.
Same. The next big bowl game that everybody's looking forward to, Mizzou and Ohio State. Storylines behind that. Ohio State loses a lot of starters in the transfer portal. Ryan Day gets fired, and Mizzou has a really big recruiting class coming in. They do. They got they do, bro. Go look it up. They got a big.
I saw it. They're at 24, bro. Calm down.
I'm just saying they flipped a lot. This is their best recruiting class in quite some time. So this is Mizzou's chance to go out there and show the fuck out. They got to go out there. They got to show the fuck out. Plain and simple.
Bro, you just said Ryan Day gets fired?
Yeah. No, Ryan Day he got fired.
No,
I swear to God, I thought.
Fuck no. He be on the hot seat. He can lose next year. They ain't finna fire him. Look, bro. Keep a spade with you. Mizzou might win this game. This might be similar to when Georgia had to go play Texas in the Sugar Bowl, or when Alabama had to play Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. It's like, nigga, we just won 2 national championships. We don't really give a fuck to play in this shit. Or if you're Ohio State, we just made the playoffs like 3 or 2 out of the last 4 years. Like, we really don't care to play Mizzou. So I mean, Mizzou is more up for this game than Ohio State is. So yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if Mizzou won by plus 10 points.
Same. I agree. I can agree. I agree. Definitely. Next up, Georgia versus Florida State, only because, Florida State feels disrespected because they got left out in the college football playoff. And Carson Beck, he did announce that he was returning, and they are losing Brock Bowers to the NFL draft. I mean, I don't. I just see Georgia mopping the floor at Florida State. Like, I see Georgia doing this, like, going out there like, you motherfuckers really thought you had a chance with this goddamn team.
With second and third string players.
Yeah.
Like, not even starters. So it might be a tad bit closer than we even anticipated.
It might be.
But I still see Florida State getting dropped in their head. Then they talking about they want to lead the ACC in 26 or 27. It's like, okay, guys, you had your second double-digit season since the Jimbo Fisher era. I mean,
congratulations.
But even Jimbo got you to the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
So calm down, guys. I mean, now look, should they have gotten in? Yes. But did we get better games because they didn't get in?
Yes.
So, I mean, do what you did this year, next year. We'll have a 12-team playoff. You can get in and perhaps advance to the semifinal or to the quarterfinals round or however it's going to shake out. Or you can get dropped in your head. Either way, go Noles.
Flat out.
I guess. All right.
Next one is USC and Louisville, only because I think the biggest question surrounding USC is whether Caleb Williams is going to return or not, and whether he's going to even play in this game or not due to his uncertainty on draft status. And then USC, they lost a lot of guys in the transfer portal as well. They also got quite a few flips in their recruiting class.
You said Caleb Williams.
That's because that's the biggest question around this team right now is whether he's going to return whether he's going to come back next year because, like he said, he's making more money in the NIL than he would as a rookie, and he can control what team he goes to. So there's a chance that Caleb comes back next year.
Bro, he already saying not playing in the bowl game. That just lets me to believe that he's gonna take his talents to the NFL and see what happens.
Maybe.
Or maybe he just don't want to play in the fucking Liberty Bowl. I mean, I'm not all that excited. I mean, I felt like beating Texas should matter. I feel like based off that win alone, we should have a New Year's Six bowl game. But, Jeff Levy didn't want to pass the ball for 2 whole quarters against Kansas. And the referees were watching videos on their phones or something during the game. Whenever he had the ball, or they became blind. Whatever happened, but no excuses. We lost. But a 10-2 team that beat a playoff team. I mean, that should mean something. The only other team that beat a playoff team is Texas.
Yeah.
During the regular season. So, okay.
Here we go.
All right.
All right. Before we get out of here, we got to do a couple of rapid fire questions. All right. Rapid fire question number 1. Should Antonio Pierce be the full-time head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders?
I mean, it makes it easier not searching. I mean, I say yes, but I still look for other candidates.
Fair enough. I think he should. I mean, with what he took on with that team, this team was a fucking dumpster fire. It was a shit show. He turned chicken shit into chicken salad is what the fuck he did. Because the team, Devontae Adams was talking about getting traded, all of this. Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt. Like the team was not they were not in a good position. Now he has this team fighting for a fucking playoff spot. Now, do I think they're gonna make the playoffs? No, but he's got them in position where they can possibly make the fucking playoffs.
Mathematically, they're still in. So, I mean, they kind of won the games at the wrong time because the Raiders was one of the teams Caleb said he'd go to.
Yeah, that's true.
So now unless Mark is gonna make some trades.
I mean, we got a lot. It got a lot of time to figure that out. So,
oh yeah.
All right. Number 2, if the Buccaneers make the playoffs, should they extend Baker Mayfield?
You kind of got to because you made the playoffs. 4 years removed from winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
So that's kind of impressive.
Three.
3 years. No, yeah. No, this is Tom Brady's first year. So you would have made the playoffs.
No. They won the Super Bowl. They lost that following year to the Rams, and then they lost last year to the Cowboys.
Right. So that'll be 4 years in the playoffs.
That's 3.
Super Bowl, lost to the Rams when they were 7-9. That was the 3 years Brady was there, and they all made the playoffs.
No, they won the Super Bowl Brady's first year there. Then that second year they made the playoffs and they lost to the Rams. The following year, year,
7-9.
They 79 and lost to Dallas.
Playoffs.
Yeah, but the year before Brady got there, they didn't make the playoffs. The year Brady got there, they won the Super Bowl. That was Brady's first year. The second year, Brady's second year, they lost because they lost in the second round to Matt Stafford because the big play to Cooper Kupp. Then last year, it's only 3 years.
Well, to make the playoffs at the time Brady retires will be awesome. And yes, I mean, I'd sign Baker to like a 3-year extension. If I wasn't, I'm not finna, you know what I'm saying? Like, I finally see why people hate Oklahoma fans, especially after Lincoln Riley left. But they posted Mahomes stats this year and Baker stats this year. Then the caption, one guy makes $4 million a year and the other guy makes 50. It's like, okay, you can argue. Switch quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Switch quarterbacks and does Baker have that team winning 9 games? And does is Tampa Bay 7-7?
Yeah,
I promise you it's different. Tampa Bay probably fucking be leading the NFC.
Yeah, because they got them 2 fucking nice ass wide receivers over there. I think if they make the playoffs, I think you do extend Baker. And but you gotta keep Mike Evans. You gotta find a way to keep Mike Evans because without Mike Evans, that offense don't work without Mike Evans. That's my thought process.
Okay. All right. Moving on. I got a question for you. Depending on who he gets drafted by, will Caleb Williams be a bust?
That all depends on who he gets drafted by, because I definitely think unless he's going, and it all depends on trades. If he's going to wherever he goes, they're starting over, because if he goes, it's always rumblings about, it's constantly rumblings about the Bears. But if wherever he goes, they're going after an offensive minded head coach. They're not sticking with whoever the fuck they got. That's how I feel.
Okay. If let's just say the next 2 to 3 years in the Big Ten is not the best for Lincoln Riley, does he leave USC and take the offensive coordinator, head coaching job, wherever team Caleb is at?
No, I don't. I don't think so.
I'll tell you what, bro.
Head coaching, no, but offensive coordinator, yeah. I think so.
I tell you what, USC, they don't fuck around. They have a certain expectation. So he turned another 75 season a couple more times.
He's gone.
They find your ass on the field. Fuck the tarmac, on the field. You go ahead and Uber at home. You got enough money because we damn sure paid you to find your own flight to fuck back home.
Get the fuck out of
buddy.
Here. Next up, should the Packers stick with Jordan Love next season or search for the next answer QB?
Yes, stick with Jordan Love.
I agree.
Growing up before our very eyes. And at one point, he had the same record and the same exact stats as Aaron Rodgers' first year. At some point in the season, I forgot what point that was, but that kind of fucked me up. And then he's making his steps a tad bit faster than Aaron, because I think they finished like 6-10.
Yeah, Aaron's first year.
Mm-hmm. he could make the playoffs.
Yeah, possibly.
So yeah,
that's a lot to build off of. I agree. Get healthy. get healthy and get him a veteran wide receiver. Yeah. I got faith in him.
Fix the O-line because they got the running back. When Aaron Jones is healthy, that motherfucker runs hard.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Next up, should the Falcons trade up in the draft to get a QB? Because I feel like at this point, that's the only thing they're missing. Either trade up or make a trade to get a QB.
I mean, I said when they drafted Buddy, you're gonna regret that in 3 years. And here we are. Here we are. So
which also leads me to my next question. Does Arizona or Chicago stick with Kyler or Justin Fields? And which one do you think will move on first?
Tell you what, man. I mean, before Kyler came back, that Dallas win was the highlight of their season. It still might be.
Yeah.
But they've won more games, not considerably much more, because they just got fucking dismembered by the 49ers last week.
That's the 49ers, though, we talking about here.
Yeah, but I mean, he had an opportunity to beat Atlanta. They just decided to go for it on you need another touchdown. Just kick the fucking field goal. The touchdown ties it. But I don't know why you go for it. I mean, I don't think the dude they hired that head coach is the guy either. There's some of his decision making I've been seeing I don't really like. But I guess you'd have to keep Justin. I guess you would have to keep Justin because he really grew up this year. Because
as the season went along.
Yeah, we were having questions about his passing mechanics. Like, do you understand what you and once he stopped thinking about the game and was going out there and playing, he's starting to look like that motherfucker outside Ohio State.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think both of them, I think they both stick with their quarterbacks. If anybody's going to move on from the quarterback, I think it's going to be Chicago because Arizona paid Kyler all that fucking money. And they can't, I mean, that's a big fucking cap hit. So, and I think Chicago.
You only got to pay the guarantee.
That's true. And I think Chicago is going. I think they see Matt Eberflus as not the answer at head coach because he can't scheme. But I think if anybody is going to make a trade, it's going to be Chicago. And me personally, I would love to see Justin Fields in Atlanta. I would. That's literally what the fuck they missing is a quarterback.
I would love to see him in a Raiders uniform or going back home to Washington. I would, you know what I'm saying? Him in them black Washington jerseys, that would be hard.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be hard.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Okay. If you're Kyler, do you defer money to get weapons? Or it's like, y'all ain't gave me shit to begin with anyway. Because it depleted. Okay, you got me D-Hop. Then D-Hop talked his way out of that. Then you got me a depleted fucking AJ Green. Then you got me an old ass Ertz. You never really gave me somebody that, I mean, they went out and got Hollywood, but ever since he fucked his foot up in that West Virginia game, he has not been playing to his potential.
I think Kyler defers to get more money simply because this is the first year. This is the first year of that contract. So I don't think, like, not to mention he has not done anything to earn more fucking money. Like, he's not a Pro Bowl selection this year. You know, he didn't play like half the season, so it's not like he can go out there and ask for more money. Like, his value. Don't get me wrong, Kyler is still valuable, but he has not done anything to earn his. He don't got no playoff wins, so you can't go begging for more money right now. You can't. I can see him talking his way out of Arizona, but asking for more money, no. But I do think they're going to try to do what they can to get him some more weapons and a new offensive coordinator.
I believe when I see it, man. They have shown me they believe in him, but they haven't shown me that they give a fuck about him. Like, we gonna pay you this, we have to worry about quarterback. You're gonna be our guy for the next 8 years.
Right.
But, you know, whatever. Whatever. I don't want to get into all that. I'm going to be upset.
These next two questions are very controversial. Next up, if the Dolphins don't make a deep run this year, should they move on if they don't at least make the AFC Championship? Do they move on? Do they pay or move on from Tua? I mean, we went and got you Jalen Waddle. We went and got you Tyreek Hill. We, we went and got you Mostert and all that. We went and got a young offensive-minded head coach. We traded for fucking Bradley Chubb. We traded for Jalen Ramsey. Bruh, you got to at least make the AFC title game.
I think you pay them. I think it's really between Baltimore and them. If we talking about the two best teams in the AFC, it's really between those two. So, and I have the strangest feeling that it is going to be ending up them for it all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can go ahead and pay Tua, man. And besides, Tua gained probably about 15 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, and continue to learn how to fall the fuck down.
Yeah, and he developed pocket presence, and he's throwing that football.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, I can agree. Last but not least, and I'm pretty sure neither one of us really want to think about this, but he's talked about it. He mentioned it. He mentioned it early in the season, and he's mentioned it before the season. Does Travis Kelce retire at the end of the season?
Like Kelsey's like a John Elway type. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave with this feeling versus a Tom Brady type. I want to let's do it one more time. It's like dope. Oh, I got high. Oh, okay, I'm good. I don't need to fuck with it. Let's do it. Let's do it one more time. And then but I mean, if Kelsey, the ceiling for Kelsey is 3 to 5 more years. And it's probably less than that.
I say 3.
I don't see him retiring this year. This team is a lot better than how they're playing. So knowing that kind of eats at you as a competitor. Like, I know we better than that.
Yeah.
So I think he's thriving to have one more good balanced team go down and see if they can get a title.
I'm battled with this because honestly, I thought that was my theory behind him getting with Taylor Swift. Like, okay, I'm on my way out the door. This bitch got some money. Like, this bitch. I'm just saying. I know this bitch got some money. So if I retire, I'm gonna be okay either way it go. Not to mention I'm going out on top. I'd have been to 3 Super Bowls. I got 2 Super Bowl rings. I'm okay. I can retire as the third. I can retire as the second, third, fourth best tight end in the NFL, however you want to fucking put it. So I can go out on top and I'll be okay. But I think he comes back one more year. I think he's definitely gonna take a back seat, and I think the Chiefs are gonna do what they can to try to make sure that they're not heavily dependent on him next season. So I think for sure he comes back one more year, and I think the year after that, I think is his I'm gonna come back, I'm a mentor, who we got, and I'm gone after that.
They usually good at drafting wideouts, but ever since they hit on Tyreek, they want to try to find Tyreek again. Why don't you find you a 6'3" Tyreek?
Yeah. I agree. Like I said, I do like Rashee Rice. He's shown flashes. It's just I think he still needs more time to develop. It was just Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill was just a match made in heaven. Anytime they got in trouble, hey, Tyreek, I'm throwing you a go ball. All right, Pat, here, go get the motherfucker.
And then a lot of the time that should be underthrown. He still catch it and then break the shit 30 more yards.
It was like when it was Pat and Tyreek, it was like it didn't matter whether it was underthrown or overthrown. It was like you knew anytime when we saw Pat throw deep, we know where it was going. We know where it was going, and we knew about 75% of the time that motherfucker was open.
But you didn't know how though.
Yeah.
It's going to Tyreek. This motherfucker was split 2, catch it. And then tiptoe on the sideline touchdown. I'm like, what the fuck?
All right, so before we get out of here, bro, I want you to give me your because every year we have one. Who is your Cinderella team this year in the NFL playoffs? The team that you think may win, may shock some people. They might win their first game that nobody's expecting them to.
Let me go back and look at these motherfuckers, man.
And I want you to give me AFC and NFC.
Okay. AFC, it might be Cleveland. It just might. They are definitely put together to do some damage.
Fucking playoff Flacco.
Yeah. Shit. I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise. Like, damn. Wow. It might be the Lions, bro. It's just like me. Nigga. The Lions in the NFC Championship game. I mean, like, you was a motherfucking lie.
Hey, I'm going to say this. Go ahead, my bad.
Did you see that video where his son got him the playoff tickets to the game? It's been 30 fucking years. That's crazy.
I'm going to say this, bro. If Detroit gets in the fucking, bro, if Detroit gets a home playoff game, I would hate to be
bro, they 11-4.
Yeah, and bro, if Detroit getting a home playoff game, I would fucking hate to be the team going into that stadium. I do not, bro. If Detroit gets a home playoff game, I don't want to be the team that go in there and play them motherfuckers. And you want to know what's crazy? You want to know what's even better? It might be fucking the Rams. Matt Stafford going back to Detroit for a fucking playoff game. Dog. That is going to, bro, that's going to be viewer shit. That's Vegas material right there.
I mean, they got the Seahawks at 69%.
Bro, you got to think of the storylines. Matt Stafford playing his old team.
That traded him away
against the quarterback that he was traded for. In Detroit, they ain't been to the playoffs in 30 years, and they got a fucking home playoff game. Dog. I can't say that. They got a home playoff game for the first time in 30 years. Bruh, dog. I can't wait. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. And then I want you to think about this. Because this could possibly happen. Because I was thinking, I just thought about this. Cleveland versus fucking Baltimore. Joe Flacco versus bruh, dog. Bruh. Oh my God.
Hey, bro, dog. If there's ever a game Joe Flacco is ever gonna be ready for,
playoff Flacco to the fucking fullest.
There will be so many sad Ravens fans. There's gonna be a bittersweet moment for him because every Ravens fan is low key kind of happy for Joe. Yeah. Like, that's good for them. We already beat the shit out of you guys twice, but they keep winning.
You know what I'm hoping for, don't you? I'm praying to God my Steelers get in. I want that Steelers and Baltimore playoff matchup. Breland, you know what time it is. You better silence the group chat. Me and this nigga. Breland, and me and Breland going back and forth all fucking week. You know that. You know that.
This shit be epic, bro. I just be crying like y'all niggas crazy.
I'm calling it right now. If the Steelers and the Ravens somehow manage to get each other in the playoffs, just know me and Breland live debate on Instagram and Facebook. Y'all ain't gonna want to miss that. If it happens. But
I just want to be there to laugh. I'm not even gonna. I might ask the questions.
Yeah.
I just want to be there to
That's
laugh.
If you're gonna be, because both of us, it's gonna be hard to get some questions.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be just like, well, shit, man. Nigga, you know what I'm saying, bro? Well, I mean. For sure. Interesting, man. Really, that's a good point there, Tim. What you gonna
say? Alrighty, man. But anyway, man, that's gonna be it for this week's episode. As always, we thank y'all for tuning in. Playoffs are coming up, so please, y'all not gonna want to miss the content. We're gonna be having our old guests come back on. Make sure y'all, as always, y'all like, share, subscribe, comment. We love the criticism, good and bad. And as always, Ron, I'm gonna see you next week, brother, and hopefully this weekend.
All right, and fuck Boston. All right,
bragging rights much.